did.
Thank you. Watch, you see now that I'm facing it. Sit back. No, now I can tell.
Brownies?
Only you'll know.
They from the dispensary, or they from the dispensary that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want one? All right.
Get through a
No, I'm
council
good.
meeting.
After the meeting.
See here?
I forgot his name.
Hey, Peter.
Oh, so nice. I forgot. Oh, I forgot a pen. I forgot my
Yeah. It's only a couple minutes off.
Want one of these? I know you introduced make a
I
lot
know,
of
I
mistakes.
do. I think I don't have any, a little bit of eraser left. I got some mistakes I could win.
Yeah. Okay, yep.
I feel so special.
It's off?
But in a good way.
Did I say something bad?
Now that I just told Marty, now that I'm sitting.
I said Mike.
Facing, now that my broke glasses were facing away from the council.
Yeah.
He says it to my face.
All right, let's call the August 8th, 2023 meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods.
Council President, could I add two people to
Sure.
that, please? We lost Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver last week, as well as in Boonton, Councilwoman Adina Renfro Michelle.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Here.
Councilwoman Noon,
Here.
Councilman Brooks is absent. Councilman Sackett,
Here.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Here.
Councilman Sahlberg,
Here.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Here.
Vice President Quinn,
Here.
President Kretz.
Here. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Daily Record and Star Ledger, the official newspapers for the Township of Rockaway, in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Additionally, notice was posted on the Township website, the official bulletin boards of Rockaway, and filed in the office of the Township Clerk. Moving on to the approval of minutes for the July 11th Township Council regular meeting. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Second. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yay.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sahlberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
I'll abstain.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that is 7 yeses, motion passes. Okay, we are going to move on to the open to the public. As a reminder, when I call your name, please come up front, state your name and address for the record. We have a 3-minute time limit, and remember that no member of the council is to be addressed individually. All right, when you come up, you're addressing the council as a whole. Michael Ilardi?
Michael Ilardi, 19 North Brookside Drive. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the police department for their presence at Festival Day weekend and the following Sunday when we had our rain date. They were a big help. Their presence is always appreciated. Just a reminder about the stop lines. I know they painted in the spring and they didn't do stop lines, and fall is coming, and I anticipate they'll be striping again. But there are places where stop signs don't have stop lines, and they don't have the yellow line at the corner of the stop line, and cars cut the corners and they stop halfway into the intersection because there's no stop line. They may still do it, but at least if there's a line there, it'll give an indication where they should stop. Mount Hope Road, the trucks still speed like crazy on that road. If you're coming down Richard Mine Road where the hill is and you look left, there's a lot of overgrowth, maybe 100 feet from the corner where the bend is. So when you look, the bushes block the trucks until, and you have to look the other way with that angle of the road. The time you look back, the truck is there. So if the growth could be cut back and some monitoring of those trucks coming off of 80, it's a 30 or 35 mile an hour speed limit. They're just not doing that. Motorbikes and electric bikes. I know when I was a kid, I couldn't have a mini bike, but now there's mini bikes flying around. There's electric bikes, electric scooters, no registration, no license plate. Now, a regular electric bike, if someone's using it as a bicycle, is one thing, but people are basically using what used to be a moped, but they're electric now, with no registration, no license plates. I see them going across Route 46, into the borough, all over the place. They're motor vehicles. So something to look into going forward. And lastly, I know Pat Seeger is retiring, and congratulations. I highly recommend it. Thank you.
Recommend retirement?
Yes.
Matt Davis?
Hi, council members, thank you. I'm sorry, I always forget that. Matt Davis, 107 West Lake Shore Drive in Rockaway. Over the past couple of weeks, there was a zoning officer out visiting private citizens who had mayoral candidate signs on their front lawn. I'd like to clarify what that ordinance is, if it applies to private property, and also if it does, there's a certain members of town who have lots of flags up for a presidential candidate, and could we use the same ordinance to apply to those flags and things that are around town? So just want kind of equal approach to those ordinances, and if it doesn't apply to private property, then it couldn't, then maybe the zoning officer shouldn't be doing that. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. April Royal?
April Royal, Hawthorne Court. Last week, less than 50 miles from Rockaway Township, a young man named O'Shea Sibley was murdered at a gas station while his assailant screamed racist, anti-gay slurs. His killer has been charged correctly with a hate crime. The shameful, hateful disinformation heard by this council at recent meetings has not been denounced, but entertained as the basis of law at the administration's request. This disinformation that queer identity and the existence of the LGBTQ+ community are somehow dangerous to children, that knowledge of this community is synonymous with indoctrination, grooming, and abuse, is the same hateful, violent rhetoric that motivated O'Shea Sibley's killer. Following my statement at the last council meeting, this body failed to gavel the mayor when he denounced me by name in his nearly 8-minute-long report, of which nearly 5.5 minutes were spent denouncing the Rockaway Township NJ Pride group, as well as me personally. The allegation that there have been other proposals for flags to be displayed is a false one, and the supposition that this council would vote in favor of displaying a flag that offends the morals and sentiments of this community is preposterous. There has been a lot of talk from the administration and its hate-driven supporters that they are doing what's right for the town and limiting liability from lawsuits. This could not be further from the truth. Infringing on the First Amendment rights of this council by refusing to display the pride flag following a vote constituting the opinion of this body, to say nothing of flouting the New Jersey law against discrimination, opens the township to more liability than the often invoked Nazis they fear. Putting the First Amendment rights of the council members duly elected by this community beneath those of hypothetical Nazis is an interesting take. It's also an interesting take to complain about internet memes in response to residents imploring you to protect the lives and welfare of themselves, their friends, families, and children, with not one single word validating or empathizing with the concerns of the dozens of residents who have showed up to speak, to support, or emailed the same. There are residents here tonight calling on you to take action to protect children against an actual predator in our midst, not a member of the LGBTQ community that you have so baselessly vilified. If this administration is to make accusations about playing politics on the matter of pride, I will paraphrase Lawrence of Arabia. that for as long as we fight faction against faction, debating whether it is in the township's best interest to stand for human rights or to remain neutral on issues of basic decency, we will remain a little place, a silly place, greedy, barbarous, and cruel. No one has ever suggested that American flags should not be flown on public property. A pride flag has not and will never replace the American flag at the top of the flagpole. It will fly beneath it as a powerful symbol of inclusion and tolerance and the values of the majority of Rockaway residents. In light of the murder of O'Shea Sibley and the escalating violence against the LGBTQ+ community, I once again call on all members of the council to denounce anti-LGBTQ bigotry and disinformation and affirm that hate has no home in Rockaway Township. Thank you for your time.
Jackie Richardson, sorry.
Jackie Richardson, Cherokee Avenue in White Meadow Lake. I am recently a retired public high school principal as recent as 7 days ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Enjoying every minute of it, by the way. I understand firsthand the impact a local government has on our community members. I also understand that your impact should be spread out equally in support among your constituents. One of the proudest moments of my educational career came this year when my town mayor and council came to my high school in support of the students who were being harassed by a teacher in my building because they were a part of the LGBTQ community. Town council and the mayor stood with us as we marched in front of the school prior to school beginning to support the students who felt so defeated by what was happening to them by their teacher and their coach. The town mayor and council for the last 3 years have also raised a rainbow flag with the LGBTQ+ community and all allies, and it still stands as we speak here today. As I ask that you remind yourself why you became a politician. Was it to push your personal agenda or support your personal beliefs, or was it to support all of the members of the community, which include a large number of the LGBTQ+ community? I am a member of this community. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, my wife is a wife. We have 3 thriving children. The fact that I have to come to a town council meeting in my community and fight for equality makes me very sad. I ask that you use the resources that sit behind me or stand behind me in this room and create a community or a committee to work with you to help educate and to help support the community members you are having a hard time supporting today. Raise the flag, leave it up, and show your support. It would mean a lot to the children, gay or straight, to the community, to the parents, and to families like mine. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Cindy Levine.
Hi, Cindy Levine, 90 White Meadow Road, White Meadow Lake. I just want to say it's interesting for me to be here tonight. I remember when this building was first opened. I worked at the Rockaway Township Library. I was one of the first employees there when our doors opened. And I'm very disturbed that I'm standing here tonight talking about this issue in the community that I grew up in. My parents came to Rockaway Township in 1960. Why did they decide to buy a house here? Because they wanted to buy a house in Mountain Lakes. And when the realtor saw their last name was Levine, they told them they better look elsewhere. So they looked in Lake Apatcon, and they were told they couldn't buy a house there either for the same reason. My father, who had served our country during the Korean War, was being denied the right to live where and how he wanted to because he was Jewish. White Meadow Lake was a safe haven for Jews, a then marginalized people. The community grew and flourished during the 60s. My father, Larry Levine, was on the board of the school system throughout the 60s and early 70s. He was an advocate for teachers and gained the respect and recognition from the New Jersey educators all around during that time. He and his colleagues ensured that the children of the area had access to a progressive and inclusive and very successful educational experience during their formative years. Rockaway Township has a long history of being a welcoming haven for others. Immigrants from Norway, children from Colombia, defectors from the Soviet Union. are some that immediately come to my mind. That's in the Wayback Machine. People have made sacrifices to be able to live a life where they have full human rights and are able to live their lives with full and true dignity. The pride flag is a flag that represents inclusivity of all. No matter who you are, you have representation in this flag's symbolism. The gay community is one of the most, if not the most, inclusive community there is. It's a community based on love, based on basic, fundamental love. Love of who you are, who I am, who and how we choose to love, and who we are meant to be in all our splendor and glory. We make up your community. We are your teachers, your healthcare providers, your business owners, your civil servants, your parents, and your children. Any agenda that attempts to deny our representation and existence is not only a slap to a community, is outright bigotry. Bigotry and the overt erasure of a people have no place here, no place anywhere. It's more than not okay. It's downright shameful. I encourage you to be mindful of the messages you send when you deny a people's place where they've had one before. Thank you.
Stacy Gregg.
Stacy Gregg, 40 Sunrise Road. I'm just going to shoot from the hip. I don't have anything prepared per se, but some topics to touch on. I agree with the last two speakers full-heartedly, and anyone who is against bigotry, homophobia, bullying, which will take me to my first topic, homophobes. History will not be kind to a mayor and a council and a town administration and anybody here who holds an office who endorses an ordinance against the pride flag and against and using Nazism and other flags as an excuse. It's shameful that there's an ordinance coming up banning a flag. It'll go down in the books. We have a couple here on the council who have said that they are for pride and they are for flying the flag, whether they want to go so far as saying along the American flag at our town municipal building, like the majority of progressive towns and respected towns around New Jersey are seeing fit to do. I urge you to speak your mind on your portion as to how you stand on this matter. Most of you have spoken up that are for the flag. Bullying. Mallory Grossman was a family, so she could rest in power, was awarded $9.1 million. I'd like to hear some of you when you speak at the end. I'd like that addressed from the council, from the town, where that money's coming from and what you've learned. Because during this time of this lawsuit, you have not allowed anyone to talk about bullying. The prior years to Mallory, we had council members that were bullying the community. We've since voted them out. I was called names. Lots of people were called names. Most of you here probably, I think the mayor sat on the council at one time. Am I wrong? I don't know. But you didn't even know what Robert's Rules of Order were. You were all newbies to this. Nobody knew that you're going to bring your homophobic agenda with you and not represent what the majority of the people in this town are for. You didn't take suicide seriously. I came up here for year after year with flags, passing them around, explaining this is not a statement, a political statement. It's a life and death statement. People who are LGBTQ need the endorsement of their... Are you going to beat me? You're looking at your watch. Sorry, I'm boring you.
I'm not looking at my watch.
No, next to you, the outgoing administrator. You didn't take suicide. I begged you to put the flag up, to do something to acknowledge Pride Month. You did a piece of paper, a proclamation that meant nothing. Our mayor was bullied to death in this town. A young girl killed herself in this town. Really quick, I'll wrap it up. I want to know what's going on with Geese. I want to know why the meeting is down. And I'd like to know what the follow-up is on everybody on the council living in the town. I don't care what their personal family life is about, but it does matter where they live. And thank you for your time, and I hope you do the right thing, and you do represent the LGBTQ community in the near future.
Just one correction, you mentioned upcoming ordinance banning flags, and I'm aware of no such ordinance. So I just want to put that out there. It's not up for discussion, I just wanted to make that statement. I'm not asking for, I just want to let you know that there's no such.
Was there a lawn ordinance with signs?
No, there's nothing that I'm aware of, so.
Political signs, sir?
Okay, is there anybody who did not fill out the form that wishes to speak? Please come up front and state your name and address for the record.
It's Ron Pagano. I gave information to the
Address,
mayor and
I'm sorry.
council
You need to state
about
your address.
327A, B, and C, Split Rock Road in Boonton, where we live. Did anyone have a chance to look at that?
Yes,
Well, our thoughts are that, we're paying taxes based on what everyone else is paying taxes on, which is road service and responsibility that the town takes care of the road. We have a little 1,000-foot road, 25 feet wide, and as you read, this road is a road. It's not a glorified driveway. So what we want to get is have the town take over this road. Has anyone even seen the road? Did anyone go there recently at all?
No.
I hope someone does, because they'll see it's a nice road. It's got drainage. It's like all the other roads up there. It doesn't have curbs, but it was built with the road specs back in around 1980 or late 70s. And we just want to see that the town just take care of this little road, because we've been taking care of it since the 70s, I guess, late 70s. So, you've seen the deed restrictions or some of the paperwork with the agreements, and I'm looking at it saying, it's just not fair. Legal sometimes isn't fair. So I just want to make this fair, because anyone on the board here or even in this room knows that if you're paying for something, you'd like to get that service. And we're not talking a few $100s here either. We're talking thousands of dollars here. So, from each member. And there's only 3 people on this road, so there's not a lot of wear and tear on this road. There's 3 houses.
Right.
So it's not much. So we look for any guidance that someone might give us to see if maybe we could do this on a simple basis, instead of someone say, you gotta talk to your lawyer, you gotta talk to our lawyer, and it goes that route, which is really not working together. It's kind of like putting buffers in the way. Any suggestions?
I did talk to our administration about it, and I know that they're doing their due diligence, but it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Oh, no.
Mr. Gachafano, you have anything to add to that?
Thank you, Council President. Mr. Pagano, we had a meeting on it today,
Thank you.
and the engineer, the administrator, myself, at the mayor's direction, the engineer is reviewing the technical stuff that an engineer has to review, and we're hoping that we can have some answers in the very near future.
All right, I appreciate it. I don't know what the near future is, but I assume that's sometime during the summer.
I would say in about 30 days.
Yeah, that's good. Can't ask for more than that. No, I appreciate you meeting on it and everything.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Okay, moving on to ordinances for introduction. O-23-21, an ordinance amending Chapter 54 entitled Land Use and Development, Sections 54-15 entitled Fees, Deposits, Guarantees, and Other Payments of the Township of Rockaway. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Solberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion passes. Ordinance O-23-22, an ordinance amending Chapter 12 entitled Building and Housing, Sections 12-1, State Uniform Construction Code of the Township of Rockaway. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Solberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion carries. Ordinances for public hearing and final adoption. O-23-17, an ordinance establishing the salaries for police department rank and file personnel in the township of Rockaway in the county of Morris. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this ordinance? Any council discussion? I'm sorry. I know, but name and address for the record.
Could you please clarify what the new salaries are?
It's for all different rank and file.
But is there a list? Is
that
it on the
publicly
website
available?
what the new salaries are?
Yes, it is.
It's on the website?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any council discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Salberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion carries. Ordinance O-23-18, an ordinance establishing the salaries for police department superior officers, personnel in the township of Rockaway in the county of Morris. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this ordinance?
I would imagine that they include raises.
I'm sorry?
Are they increases on this, or just clarifying, or are there
Yes.
increases?
There,
And where's this funding coming from?
it's in our general budget.
It's already in the
It's
budget?
already
It's
in
not
the
going to
budget.
increase our taxes?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any council discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Salberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion carries. Ordinance O-23-19, amending Chapter 7 Traffic, Article 1, Section 7-6.9, Parking Prohibition, Section 7-8 One-Way Street, Section 7-10 Stop Intersection, Section 7-11 Yield Intersection, Section 7-12 Turn Prohibitions, Section 7-18 Speed Limit End Section, Section 7-22 Do Not Enter of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Rockaway, County of Morris, State of New Jersey. Whew. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any public discussion on this ordinance? Any council discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Salberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion carries. Ordinance O-23-20, ordinance amending Chapter 7, Article 2 of the revised ordinances of the Township of Rockaway in order to add new ordinance Section 65, establishing a partial Title 39 enforcement plan for the regulation of parking, standing ingress, egress, and the flow of traffic on private property owned by Pondview, Inc., identified on the official tax map of Rockaway Township as Block 11501, lots 41, 45, 47, and Block 11502, Lot 2. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any public comment on this ordinance? Any council discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Salberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion carries. Just a little bit of bookkeeping. I am going to be pulling R-23-149, the executive session, and we're gonna do the consent agenda, and then we will do a separate vote for R-23-150. Consent agenda, R-23-133, R-23-140, R-23-141, R-23-142, R-23-143, R-23-144, R-23-145, R-23-146, R-23-147, R-23-148, R-23-151, R-23-152. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
What's the matter, Mary?
Can I say one thing? There's a resolution on here for an auction, R 23-140.
Yep.
The minimum bid for the cars may change when we get the final totals from the police department for the towing.
How does that affect the ordinance, the resolution?
Because there's a minimum amount in there.
Okay.
Just the minimum might change. Other than that, if you don't mind, that's fine.
Would we have to re-vote on it or no?
No, John?
Any opposition? Okay. Mary, did you have it? Sorry.
No.
Councilwoman Neal, sorry. Okay, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sahlberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion carries. All right, I'm going to pull up agenda resolution R-23-150, resolution authorizing execution of an agreement of employment between the Township of Rockaway and Paula Cosarelli as business administrator for the Township of Rockaway. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Brooks. Councilman Friedlander.
So we're just voting on that one, Council
Just
President?
that one.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sahlberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, that's 6 yeses, 2 abstention, motion passes. Okay, moving on to appointing Fire Department member Samuel Sicoli, Company 4. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sahlberg,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Quinn,
Yes.
President Kretz.
Yes, it's 8 yeses, motion passes, congratulations. Okay, moving on to old business, new business, and reports. Once again, I'm going to ask to try to keep it to 5 minutes. We are going to start with Councilman Vojtovich.
I have nothing to report. I just want to thank Mrs. Pat Seeger for her dedicated service to the township, and congratulations on your retirement. I wish you a long and healthy retirement as well. That's all I have.
Playing around. Yeah. Councilwoman Noon.
Just to reiterate, happy retirement, Pat. And it's been nice working with you, and that's all I have.
Councilman Sackett.
Thank you, Council President. Last week, August 1st, was the National Night Out. I attended Rockaway Boroughs, and there was a lot of Rockaway Township residents there. So I was thinking, a lot of them were asking, maybe something we can work on for Rockaway Township for next year. A lot of township residents were asking. The borough's had it for the last few years. It'd be nice if something we can have here in the township. Football, cheerleading, a lot of stuff has started. So to all the Rockets out there, my son's on varsity this year, so just wishing them all the best of luck. I also wanted to commend Al Noth, his team, and Pat Seeger for all their hard work during the storms we had in July. We took a lot of rain in White Meadow Lake, all over, a lot of houses, a lot of flooded basements. And they were out there repairing berms, working hard, and very helpful. So thank you for that. And also to Pat, best of luck in your retirement. You've worked very hard, no matter we agreed or not. You always worked hard and gave me a straight up answer, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. Also, once again, I'd like to reiterate that I do support the LGBTQ+ community, and continue to work forward to move things forward in Rockaway Township, and also to touch upon Ms. Grossman. My son was in that class, so it is a very upsetting subject for myself, and I pray for her and her family. Thank you.
Councilman Friedlander?
Thank you, Council President.
A couple meetings. This year, we finished the Substance Abuse Alliance, the 25th anniversary, and the year just went great. We're having a meeting, matter of fact, in a couple of days, and we're going to start the 26th year, and it's going to only get better. The Historical Society, if you follow the website, we've been having open houses all of July on Saturdays. Comes August, which it's this Sunday, August 6th, we are switching to Sundays from 10 to 2. I hope everybody goes down and listening to the tour. It's a great building, and now that we voted and passed the money, the trust money, to go ahead, we'll be closing for a while, so come down. Third, I left we did a resolution. Well, this is the the library. Summer programs were fantastic. Always doing things. A lot of children coming down and enjoying themselves. This past meeting, there was a discussion about the banning of books, which is happening across the country. I was going to read the resolution, but I have 2 envelopes here, and I left it in the third at home. So I'll just tell you that the board, Rockaway Township Library Board, voted unanimously not to ban any books. That they're leaving it, it's up to the parents and the families to decide what they can read and what they can't. And just want to say that thank the people for coming down, and I do support the Pride movement in this town moving forward. So that's it. Thank you.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Just a few things. I attended the Board of Education meeting on, the date escapes me, like mid-July. They appointed a new board member. One of their board members had moved, so they had to appoint a new board member. Currently, the nomination for petitions is closed, but there are quite a few candidates open for some expired seats as well as full-term seats. So that should be nice. They had a board retreat, which was open to the public on July 29th. They spoke about things in regards to some goals, things of that nature, but most importantly, a potential for a referendum. So just for something to keep everyone, their ears to the ground. And last but not least, Pat, good luck. You'll need it with all those grandkids. You may be running back, I don't know. But congratulations. That's all I have.
Councilman Selber?
First, just kudos. With all the trimmings, really impressive. Couldn't believe you got the fireworks, the trucks, everything back together. So great job on the rain date. Also, those of you that have traveled up on Green Pond, you see that the county has started their repairs up there. It's slated for the top 4 miles. Shouldn't have an effect on Rockaway Township Day, because it should all be north of that. And with that, again, August 19th, Rockaway Township Day up at Hudsonia. So hope to see everybody there. And finally, again, Pat, again, congratulations. Enjoy. You've been there since the first day when I first came in as interim mayor, and ever since. So I've appreciated everything. Enjoy every day of it.
Council Vice President?
Thank you. First, I'll start with Pat. We've been through the good, the bad, and the ugly times of Rockaway Township with the various councils. Thank you for all the time you put in and stuck with it. Enjoy the 13 grandkids. You should open up a daycare, basically, as a second job. God bless you. Again, the Rockets now are cheerleading and football are getting ready to kick it off, and I wish them a healthy, safe season. Enjoy the time. Fields are looking great. Well, that rain and sun has really made Peterson look great, besides the turf. But, yeah, It's good. And our meetings are starting to get going again, seeing we had a hiatus for the summer. So I'll be getting back in the swing of the meetings for recreation and planning board. Other than that, everybody stay safe and have a good rest of the summer. Thank you.
I just wanted to join everybody in congratulating you, Pat. It's, being a business administrator can be a thankless job sometimes, but I want to make sure that I said thank you. So you've been here the whole time that I've been here, and I appreciate your wisdom and your guidance, and I wish you luck. Mr. Yachafano.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple of comments based upon some of the questions asked tonight. First of all, recently, Mr. Alardi brought to the mayor's attention a situation in White Meadow Lake which may constitute a violation of our relatively recently passed short-term rental ordinance. Mike, we're looking at it. We may be in touch with you for more information, but we're following up. Second, a question was raised about the ordinances concerning the police and superior officers. Those ordinances are passed pursuant to the new contracts that were negotiated with both bodies. They will not necessarily cause a tax increase by themselves. They become part of the budget, and when it becomes time to prepare the budget for this spring, which will probably start yesterday, all of that will be factored in. I can tell you that the contracts which were negotiated were reasonable and in keeping with the standards today for most police departments of our size and in our situation. Also, a question was raised with respect to the $9.1 million settlement of the Grossman case. That money came from the insurance carrier for the school district. Finally, as to Pat, a number of people have said a lot of nice things about you tonight. I gotta tell you, I won't miss the calls at night, on Saturdays, and on Sundays. In fact, now that you have 13 grandchildren, they're gonna be very busy. I may call you on the weekends. But thank you very much. That's all I need to say.
Is there any truth that your building is being rebranded as Yachafano and Seeger? Seeger Yachafano. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, so, speaking of Pat, you know, I think she has a lasting impression on Rockaway Township, and former Mayor Puzio is here tonight, I think, in honor of Ms. Seeger retiring. As Ms. Gregg mentioned, Pat took over as business administrator during a really tough time in Rockaway Township, and I don't think there's a lot of people that would have been able to handle it the way she did, and got this township through those times and came out on the other end. I can tell you, as a mayor, having somebody like Pat that's always working, I've never, whether she's on vacation, out of town, anywhere, anytime, if I text her, she texts back, she calls, she's always working, she's always worried about Rockaway Township and doing what's best, and that's going to be tough to replace. And I will miss you. So I wish you luck, and God knows you're going to need it with that many grandchildren. So, a couple things I wanted to go through. First, business recognition, Markovsky Landscaping and Tree Service. I don't know if anybody here has used them. It's owned by Steve and Allie Markovsky. Steve moved to Rockaway, his family moved to Rockaway when he was 2. He married his high school sweetheart, and they were raising their 2 children in the house he grew up in. After graduating from Morris Hills High School, he started a career as a materials management coordinator at St. Barnabas Hospital. While working there, he cut neighbors' lawns on the side. After a few years at the hospital, he felt that it wasn't a good fit, so he quit and started taking on more lawns. 20 years later, he expanded his side hustle, and it's become Markovsky Landscaping and Tree Service. As the company's website states, Markovsky Landscaping and Tree Service of Rockaway, New Jersey, is locally renowned for its integrity and attention to detail for tree care and landscape management. We utilize professional industry equipment to cover all phases of caring for trees, landscaping needs, and even commercial snow removal. So you could visit our Facebook page and you'll see links to their website. They do great work. So highly recommend you, if you have a tree to take down or have landscaping needs, reach out to Markowski. Next, I want to touch on Rockaway Day. I think Councilman Salberg mentioned it. Saturday, August 19th, 11 to 6 at Hudsonia, Camp Hudsonia. We have a new flyer. Did we push this out today or no?
Yes.
Yeah, we pushed this out today on Facebook.
I got it put in.
Yeah, we'll have some signs put around town. It should be fun. Music, food, activities, more details to follow. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know, it's a senior picnic going to be before our next meeting?
It's September.
Yeah, I know. No, she knows everything. That's
know
like
when it is.
Allison. It's the 7th, but when's our next
No,
council
the
meeting?
12th.
Yeah, so the 7th is the senior picnic. I think, is it over 55? How old do you have to be to go to it? So if you haven't gone and you want to go, it's up at Craigmere. It's a great day. The 7th, I think it goes from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There'll be music, food from American Barbecue. If you need a ride, call Town Hall, and we have dial-a-ride trucks taking people up there.
Hey,
So-
Joe, I'm sorry, just officer, he's gonna need some protection with that 55 comment.
Hey, listen, I can go, so, you know. I did want to touch on, and Paul, not to put you on the spot, Councilman Sackett mentioned about the National Night Out, and you and I had a conversation. I don't know if maybe you want to elaborate on the conversation you had.
With you, the National Night Out, I've talked to several residents, and we haven't had one here in Rockaway Township for a long time, so I attended one in Boonton Township, and I spoke to the mayor and the Public Safety Committee, which Councilman Sackett's part of. We're going to discuss that with the chief and everybody else to probably start one in Rockaway Township hopefully next year.
So it was perfect timing you brought that up, because we were literally just talking about that this week. On the 15th of this month, we had an event at Town Square Village where we educated residents on township services. So I had Captain Shear there, Dave Dyer, Jeff Heitzelman, Brittany from our health department, and talked about services. The feedback we get a lot, when we go to different communities, is that it enlightens them. They didn't realize all the different services that township has to offer. So, if you live in a community and you'd like, my team to come out and talk to the people in your community, let us know and we'll arrange for it. We had a planning board meeting on the 17th, I believe. We had a planning board member move out of town, promoted Laura Chavella up to Class 1 planning board member, and actually have an alternate coming in. Ed Bornman is going to be the alternate on the planning board, who I believe was your baseball coach when you were a kid, right? Yeah. So 25th, among all the other stuff Eileen does for White Meadow Lake Festival days and all that, she coordinated a blood drive. So donated blood. Seemed like a really good turnout. 27th, 28th had back-to-back weddings. And then on the last night, we had a Unico meeting. For those who don't know, Unico sponsors a motorcycle run that's going to occur on August 27th. It starts at the upper parking lot at Peterson Field. Registration begins at 8. The run starts at 10. The money they raise goes to different, charities. Unico's a nonprofit. It'll be supported by our police department. I believe Lieutenant Tanis is running lead on that. I'd like to remind everybody, the summer concert series is still going on through August. 3 o'clock on Sundays, from 3 to 5, there's music. If the weather's nice, it'll be at the gazebo at Park Lake. If not, the weather's not nice, it'll be at outside of Macy's at the mall at the lower level. I'd like to mention one last thing. We had, I think 2 weeks ago, a lieutenant retire from the police force. Immediately had Mrs. Seeger pull a list. So if a lieutenant retires, we have to promote a sergeant to a lieutenant. we have to promote a patrol officer to sergeant, and then we look to hire another patrol officer. So we are going through that process right now. We have an interview committee set up with Mrs. Seeger, our personnel officer, and the 3 senior ranking members of our command staff, and they're involved in the interview process, which I felt was very important to make the right decisions. Yeah, and we're hiring, based on ordinance and staffing, and we're at 5 new officers. So all these things are happening right now, and that's all I have.
You can wait, you go last.
Okay.
Keep it up, I'll make sure you're not working here in a month. Ms. Palmieri?
I have no reports, but Pat, we're still stuck with each other for another 3 weeks, so no skipping out until the end of August, but I'm going to save my comments for the end.
It's either good or bad. Ms. Frank?
All I want to say is that the county, as Councilmember Salzberg said, the county will be working on Green Pond Road, the north and the south section. They will be repaving it. They're trying to do a lot of it at night. They do have a backlog of work, so they're going to try to come in and get out of here before school starts. So just be patient, slow down, and our officers will be out there, so expect delays on Green Pond Road.
Mr. Tabbitt?
Well, like those who spoke before me, just I'll have a chance, like Lisa said, to speak with Pat. A few more weeks to bust your chops, but we've always had a productive dialogue, and we don't agree 100% of the time, but we've always had really, really frank discussion, and it's been a pleasure. The only other thing I wanted to mention was that we are working cooperatively with the Municipal Alliance Committee on a school supply drive. It's posted to Facebook and to the township website if you look for the details. There's a box in the lobby that we're encouraging residents to bring by supplies, and if you want to know the priority items, again, please check Facebook and the township website for more information. And thank you, Council President.
Thanks. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to bring the attention of everyone to the actions of our officers on July 14th. On that date, at 7 o'clock in the morning, they responded to a report of a house fire with people trapped. The officers were able to respond, and needless to say, the residents had a lot of clutter. Some people would say they were hoarders. That's why they were trapped in the building. Our officers, Officer Carmelina Rojas, Jeff Artitura, and one of our newest officers, Michael Batista, were able to force entry, not only save the 2 residents, but also their pet dogs. So I'd like to bring that recognition to the officers.
All right, good job.
And in regards to National Night Out, we used to participate when Morris County ran it down at Menon Arena. However, due to budgetary costs, the county stopped doing it. Over the past several years, I've approached Rockaway Borough to see if they'd like to put on a joint National Night Out, since they had Fireman's Field. We didn't really have access to Peterson Field then, and over the years they turned us down, saying this is our thing, you run your own. So with this year, I've sat down. Actually, the officer that used to run the county National Night Out was Morris County Park Police Chief Gabriel DiPietro, who happens to be Detective DiPietro in our department now, who, when he was running for Morris County, received several National Night Out awards for the recognition of all the work they did. So I've already started with the Detective DiPietro and putting together something for next year. We're figuring we'll hold it on Peterson Field, and get everything going. And this way we'll have a Rockaway Township National Night Out, not a county one that we're participating in or a joint one with the borough. We'll have one specifically for Rockaway Township residents.
Nice.
In regards to Pat, I wish you well in your future. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
And
Ms.
that's
Seeger.
my report.
Floor is yours.
It's very hard. I love the township, and I love working for them, and I do work hard for them. We've had a lot of mayors in my short time, as you all know. We had our ups and downs, but I couldn't tell you we have a supportive council, supportive mayor, and supportive staff here that really care about Rockaway Township. We might not always give the answer every resident's looking for, but we are looking out for the best of everybody. And it's hard for me to leave, but my 13th grandchild was born last night at 11:38. And she's beautiful, and she weighed 9 pounds almost. But I'm gonna miss it. It was a hard decision for me because I still have a lot of energy, and I will put that into my family. And I will always care about Rockaway because it's a great place to live, and everybody who lives here should be very happy. It's a great community, and you have people who serve you here on the council and the mayor and the staff who really care about it. So I wish everybody luck, and it's kind of bittersweet. I will miss it. Thank you, and thank you for all your support.
Okay, make a motion to adjourn, all in favor?
So moved.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
It's just each their own, that's it, so. Yeah, that's it, man, so.